Hi crafters, it's Chloe from Chloe's Creative Cards, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make this absolutely gorgeous, fabulously festive Christmas card using our Poinsettia Bauble stamp and die set. Now this stamp and die set, there are endless possibilities with, and I've got lots and lots planned that I want to show you that you can do with this stamp and die set because it really is fabulous. So today we're starting off with quite a simple card using not too many materials actually, but it looks really impactful. So we're going to be glittering, we're going to be using our gorgeous wow embossing glitters as well to be heat embossing. We've got some matting and layering in here, and yeah, it's just a really nice, it's quite a quick card to make as well. And of course, if you wanted to scale it down to an A5 or a 5x7, you can be doing that too. So to get started, I have got an 8x8 card blank, which I've got here, and I've got some patterned papers that I've already trimmed down. So I've got a piece of our gorgeous Crackle foiled paper pad, and I've cut that down to 7 3/4 inches. I've then got a piece of our crystal white pearl card, which I've cut down to 7.5 inches. We've then got another piece of our beautiful Crackle foiled paper, and I've cut that down to 7 1/4. And then we've got another piece of our lovely crystal white card, and I bet you've guessed it, I've cut that down to 7 inches. So we're working in 1/4 inch increments. Now what I would say is there is obviously a little bit of waste with your beautiful foiled papers underneath. So if you want to be die cutting anything else from the centre and gutting these, you can be doing that. I personally am not going to do that for this video because I then find it a little bit harder to stick my mats and layers on. So I'm going to start off by taking the smallest layer, which is the one that I've cut down to 7 inches square. And I'm going to take my Christmas branch stamp. So this is a really lovely, it's actually a stamp and die set, and then you do get some little elements to hang off the branch, but it's really, really lovely. So we're going to be taking that one first. And I've got some scrap paper here that we're going to pop our embossing powder onto as we're working. So we're going to take our anti-static bag, and we're going to give our card a little dust over. Now this one's quite a new anti-static bag, so it's quite compact. So I'm going to give it a little kind of whack on the table and then a dust over. Then we're going to take our Wow Clear embossing ink pad, and we're going to ink up our stamp. Now I know this has been out of stock for a little while, this ink pad, but I do have it on good authority that it should be coming back pretty soon. So keep an eye on the website for that one. So we're then going to start off by taking our gorgeous branch stamp, and I'm just going to kind of randomly start to stamp it across the top. So I always like to kind of get a midsection in first. So this one here. And you want firm, even pressure all over the stamp. And then we're going to lift off. Now I don't know whether you'll be able to see at home, but I can just kind of see a very faint impression of where that ink is. So I'm then just going to go back in and stamp it again, like so. And I'll just re-ink my stamp, and I'm going to stamp a little bit more just over here. You can kind of turn your paper around as well if you find that easier. I'm going to re-ink my stamp, so it doesn't look like I'm doing much at the moment, but trust me, I am. I'm going to stamp another one across here. Lift that off, re-ink my stamp again, and we're going to stamp one more just in this corner here. So you can kind of go and build up as much or as little foliage as you like. And then we're going to take our piece of scrap paper, and we're going to take our Wow embossing glitter. So the one that I'm using is called Mercury glass, and this is quite possibly my most favourite Wow embossing glitter ever. It is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to pop the waste back into the jar. You can see you hardly use any when you're embossing as well. And it really does add a lovely sparkle to your projects. So what we're then going to do is take our heat tool, which I've got here. And we're just going to start to heat this up. So holding that heat tool still, you are just going to move the heat gun over the image like so. So you'll see it goes from like a dull grey to a lovely, bright, sparkly, shiny, warm silver colour when it's heated. Once you see that powder twinkle and change, that is when you know it is done. There we go. So you can see how beautiful and sparkly that then looks. So I'm going to add a little bit of extra glitter just onto this beautiful branch kind of design. So I'm using a bit of Diamante Sparkle and I'm using my Art Glitter Dries Clear PVA. And we're literally just going to go in and add some little dots of PVA. And I'm just doing this quite randomly. Don't have to be too precise. I'm trying to kind of keep them a little bit on the branch, but I'm not too concerned about that. So we can add a couple just into the backgrounds too. And then we're going to sprinkle over our glitter. So I do have my glitter in larger tubs, especially of like the ones that I use more of. So then you can see the effect that that then gives. So if we pop the lid back onto there, and then we're going to grab in some Crystal Crush glitter as well. And this is beautiful. So what you can then do is take your glue and just scribble. Just let your glue come down to the tip there and then just scribble onto the branches. Now, ordinarily, what I would prefer to do at home is kind of let the little dots just dry down a little bit. Just so then you're not kind of knocking them off when you're scribbling this on. But again, there's not really like a fine art to this as such. You can literally just go on and give it a little scribble. And what that then means is it gives you like a more frosty effect. So then when we sprinkle this over the top, you'll see how it makes the branches look like a little bit more like snowy branches, if that makes sense. So what we're going to do is pop that to one side while we start to work on our baubles. So what I've gone ahead and done already is I've taken the die from the set. So within your die set, you get a large bauble, which I've got here. Okay. And a smaller bauble too, which is this one here. You then also get the little bauble top, which I've die cut out as well. So what I've done is taken the smaller bauble and I've die cut 3 of those out of my Crystal White Pearl card. And then I've also die cut 3 of the little bauble tops too. So what we're going to do is take our anti-static bag and dust over those little baubles, like so. And then on your stamp plate, you get all of these little elements. So I've taken the smaller bauble design, which is the one we're going to use. You've also got the larger one as well, which you can be using on this bauble if you want to. You've got 2 poinsettia flowers. You've got a lovely little bow that fits on the top, and then you've got some little snowflakes for a background too. So I'm just using the smaller one this time. And I'm going to take my clear embossing ink pad and I'm going to ink up that stamp design like so. We're then going to take our stamp, we're going to hover, line it up in about the middle and then press. So you want firm, even pressure all over the image. We're then going to lift that off and take our scrap paper back in again. We're going to cover that with our Mercury glass embossing powder. I'm going to stamp and pop the powder on them all and then heat them up together at the end. So then take this one, re-ink your stamp, hover and press. And this is a really good card if you are batch making or if you're selling your cards as well, because it's a nice, quick and easy one to make. And these little baubles are perfect for using up all of your little scrap bits of paper and card as well. So we'll then lift that off. So then we're going to take our embossing powder and just sprinkle that over the bauble design. that one. And then this one as well. A little sprinkle over, a little shimmy, and then tap away the excess. And then that's going to go straight back into the jar. Okay, so now we're going to take our heat gun again and heat this up. So again, we're just holding that heat gun still. As soon as you see that embossing powder start to melt and change, you're just going to move the heat gun over the image. One done. Two, and then this is the third one now that I'm just heating up. Like so. So we're going to pop our lid back on our ink pad, and then we're going to grab in the little baubles. Just make sure I've just smudged that one a little bit there, because the embossing was still a little bit warm. But then I'm going to take in my Diamante Sparkle glitter, and I'm going to go in and these little kind of like diamond shape, these little points of the snowflake, I'm going to just infill with my glue, and also these two little dots at the outer edges as well. And you don't kind of have to be too precise with this, and then just around the edge, that inner part of the snowflake too. And then we're going to take that and dunk it into our glitter, and then tap away the excess. So we're going to do this on all of the little points, and this gives that extra little bit of bling factor to your beautiful snowflake design. There we go. And then we're going to dunk that into the glitter and tap away the excess. So we're going to work round. Like so, just working through, adding that glitter onto this beautiful design. Just draw around the edge, like so. Okay, and that's going to go out to one side. And then we've got some of our gorgeous little self-adhesive sparkles. So we're going to add these onto the snowflakes as well in the middle of those baubles. So I'm just going to use the plain silver ones, and these honestly are so luxurious. They are absolutely beautiful. Just going to pop a tiny little blob glue just down into the center as well, just to make it a little bit easier. And I'm going to go around the edges and these little points just on the end of the snowflake, where you've got kind of this little, it's like a little triangle really. I just stick some of these smaller sparkles onto there, like so. So you can see how fab that's then looking. So if we then work our way around, just adding these little jewels onto your project, like so. And the same with this one. Little jewels all the way around. There we go. Okay, and then what we're going to do is take the little bauble tops. So again, this comes on your die set. So I've just die cut these from a little bit of crystal white card, just a little scrap. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to lift these baubles just up and out of my way, just so I don't smudge them. But I'm going to take my scrap paper in, I'm going to take my clear embossing ink pad, and then I'm going to take these little top pieces and I'm going to just dunk them into the embossing ink like so. So just pressing them into the pad. So we're going to do this on all three. Just having something as well to keep your fingers out of that ink pad, because you don't want them to get too kind of inky or anything like that. But just working round, adding that embossing ink onto there. Okay, and then you can see how that's then looking. So we're then going to take our beautiful Mercury glass and sprinkle that back over the top. And I love this colour, and I'll tell you why I love it. Because you know those gorgeous like silver antique glass Christmas ornaments where they've got that patina effect? That is what this embossing powder was inspired by. So it's not like a cool silver, it's a lovely kind of warm silvery colour, and it just looks so kind of opulent on your projects. It's really, really beautiful, and I think especially at Christmas time, just gives you that beautiful kind of sparkle and look to your projects. So we'll pop the excess again straight back into the jar. And then all of these little bits here, we're going to just grab, pop back onto my scrap paper, and we're going to start and heat them up. So again, just holding the heat gun still, you'll notice they turn pretty quickly because it's just a small area. You might just need a little pair of tweezers or something just to help hold them in place. But then you can see how beautiful these look, and then they look like the little metal tops for your baubles. So there we go. And then what you can do is take your baubles back in, take these little embellishments, a little bit of glue just on the back, and then we're just going to turn that round. Stick that down there. And there we go. And we'll do the same with the next one. So a little bit of glue. And then stick that down, like so. And stick that one there, like so. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these beautiful little embellishments to one side to dry. While those are drying, I'm going to grab my base card back in, and we'll start and stick our mats and layers together. So again, starting with that beautiful Crackle paper, I'm going to stick that one down flat first. I'm just using a little bit of Crackle all-purpose glue onto the back there. It's then going to get stuck down there. Like so. And then I've got my other piece of Crackle paper, which I'm going to stick to a piece of crystal white. So just a little bit of glue on the back. A little bit more glue. There we go, and then we'll stick that down there. Okay. And then we're going to take a chisel tip glue pen. And we do sell these on the website. They are fabulous. We're going to drag it along the edge of the card. So you're literally going to hold the pen at about a 45-degree angle and then just drag it towards yourself like so. Go. I'm going to pop that little bit that I spilled back into the jar. I'm going to pop that over to one side, and then I'm going to grab in the other bit where we stamped that gorgeous branch across the top, and we're going to start to just edge this one as well. So just going around the edge with that chisel tip glue pen, like so. And then we're going to take our glitter and we're going to dunk it in. Like so. And then we'll pop the waste back into the jar there. Right, so now we're going to start and layer up our base card. So we're going to flip this piece over and we're going to pop some foam pads onto the back of here. So I am of course using our amazing foam pads on a roll. These are so good. So easy to use as well. Literally just whip the backs off. There we go. And then we're going to stick this down onto our base card, like so. Okay, and then we've got the next layer, which I'm also going to pop on foam pads, but I want to hang the little baubles. So I've got some like very thin satin ribbon with like a silvery edge here. It's like one of those that you have in your craft box for literally years. So I'll just take a little bit of that. And I'm going to flip this piece over. Again, I'm going to take some foam pads. Grab some more. Oh, so fresh roll. Look at that. These are the 2mm ones. And when I say you get a lot of foam pads on a roll, you really do get lots and lots. So, I'll just unravel this and get a few foam pads on the go. Go. So just gonna place these down onto the back. We do these foam pads in a 2mm and a 3mm size. There's no real right or wrong, whichever one you want to use. It's just personal preference really. So put some extra foam pads along the top there because that's where I'm going to hang my baubles from. So I'm going to whip the backs off of all of these. Love taking the backs off these. I find it so satisfying. Right, so what we're then going to do is take our ribbon and just kind of line it up roughly where we want the baubles to hang. We can adjust the length, so we're not worried too much about that. We just kind of want them so they're quite evenly spaced at the moment. So yeah, I think like that should be fine. And then we'll take this and place that down onto our card. And then we're going to take that ribbon and I like to thread it through the little hole. And then you can kind of decide where you want your baubles to hang. So I'm going to have that one about there, I think. So I'm going to take a little foam pad and just stick that on the back, like so. If you pull that down nice and tight, and then any excess you can just trim off with your scissors. So there we go, that's the first one. And then we'll do the other two outer edges as well. I'm going to do like a double layer of foam pads here, too, just to give a little bit more depth and dimension. Should have threaded first there. So again, just threading through and then deciding where you want that bauble to hang to. So you don't want them all in a straight line. You want them to kind of have that little bit of movement to them. About there. Be nice with that one. So then we can take that and just kind of stick it down like so. Might actually want that up a little bit more. So let me just adjust just that one. Let's get the ribbon straight first. Right, now we'll take the scissors and cut that off at the back there. And then we'll just stick this one down round about there. And then I'll do the same again. 2 on the back there. And then we're going to take this, thread that through like so. Decide on your length. And then pop that down about there. Get that nice and straight. And then trim that edge away there. So you can see how lovely that is then looking. Then what I've done is I've taken the little bow stamp that you get on the stamp set. And I've stamped that out twice for each bauble. So one I've cut out whole. And then the second layer, I've cut just that little bow out from the middle. So just this little section here. So we're going to stick these on top of the baubles. So I'm going to use a little bit of pin flare to do that. So I've just curved the little bows to give them a little bit of shape between my fingers. And then we're going to stick that one. A little bit of glue in the middle as well, just so it grabs. A little bit there. And then we'll pop this little bow into the middle too. So a little bit of glue either side. And then that's going to go onto here. Like so. So we're just going to work round and add these little bows on top of the baubles. That one there. And then this little bow again. So all I'm doing is squishing it in the middle and then curling it around my fingers. Bit of glue. Ooh. Try not to drop it like I just did there. There we go. And then you can just position that down. And you can see how awesome this then starts to look. So, stick this one here. And then little one here. And then for the extra bling factor, okay, I'm going to use some of our sparklers in the middle. Now, these are brand new. They've not long been on the website and they've been so popular. So our sparklers are little bags of diamante embellishments and you get 50 pieces in a pack. We've got 2 sizes. We've got 10mm and we've got 12mm. But these are gorgeous. They are perfect for the middle of your bows. Perfect for adding in the centres of your flowers and things as well. They're just really, really lovely and they are such good value for the amount that you get in the pack as well. So be sure to check those out on the website. So I'm going to just stick these down like so. And I'm just using a little bit of pin flare to stick those into position. Again, at home, you've got a little bit more time to kind of allow, more glue on there, allow for things to dry, which is what I'd ordinarily be doing. Oops. There we go. We'll chuck all this rubbish in the bin next to me here. So we're getting there with this card. We're not too far off done. So what we're going to do next is grab in one of our bling boxes. So this is the essential one that I'm using. Basically, we just want any with the clear jewels in. So I'm then going to go in and I'm going to just use the smallest ones from the set. So these are 5mm, I think. Got pin flare on my fingers now. There we go. So then I'll just use my little tweezers just to lift them up and place them down. Luckily the glue will dry clear. So there we go. And then we can just take a few of these, just ready, oops, to add into the corners, like so. Mercury in this bottom corner. 1, 2, 3. So you can see how fab that's then looking. So what we're going to do next is do our little sentiment. So I've got a little scrap of crystal white pearl card here. Again, a little dust over with an anti-static bag, and I've got one of the sentiments from the Elegant Christmas Verses stamp set. We're going to take that sentiment and ink it up with our clear embossing ink pad. We're going to stamp that down like so, lift off, and then we're going to take our Mercury glass embossing glitter, sprinkle that over, tap away the excess, back into the jar. Wow powders are so good as well, because they are, for embossing glitters, they are quite fine. So then we're going to heat this up. So you're just chasing that with your heat gun. Like so. And then you can take our guillotine, which I've got here. I'm going to trim that sentiment down. Just give it a little waft, just to get it so it's nice and dry. Go. And the same with this one here. Okay, so that looks about central to me. So with my sentiments, these are probably the only bits of mats and layers that I don't measure. I'm just going to take a pen and mark like that. And we've got another little batten layer here. Yeah, that's lovely. And then I'm going to take a little bit of my leftover Crackle. Oh, that could not be a better fit. Leftover bit of my Crackle paper pad. And then I'm just going to line this up here, like so, trim that down, and then we're going to stick these together. So we'll take a little bit of glue just to stick our little sentiment plaque down. And I like how it's white on white, but when the light hits it, you get a little bit of a shadow from the matte and layer. And then we'll take our crystal crush glitter, and again, just drag around those edges, oops, like so. And then we're going to dunk that all into our glitter, like so. Just tap away any excess. And then we're going to stick this down onto our card blank, and that would then be our finished Christmas card. So then we can stick this down onto here. Like so. And then a couple of foam pads just onto the back. Take those backs off. And then we're going to stick that down. And that there would be your finished card. So as always, I'm going to bring the finished one in. That is all nice and dry. As always, all of the materials used are listed in the description below. You can shop all of the products online at www.chloescreativecards.co.uk. We've got loads of inspiration up on our YouTube channel, so please do subscribe if you haven't done so already. I hope to see you again very soon. Thank you for joining me. Bye.